Well, good morning, folks. How are you? Long time no see. So, I've been under the weather of sorts. Not sure how to explain it other than I believe it has something to do with blood sugar. I've had some issues with my vision and dizziness, and just all in all, not doing well. But I'm working on it. So, looking at the NASDAQ here, I like the idea of the NASDAQ trading down for a little while. That buy side looks safe. That sell side imbalance I'm noting here. I want to see it stay below the midpoint, and I'm willing to take a short in here and aim for the low that formed just after 8 o'clock in the morning. So I see several things in here. Inversion fair value gap that could happen. This is the low. (8:30 a.m. Eastern Time). Make this black and this black. All right, so that's the initial draw. So I'm expecting it to go there, but I'd like to see it go lower. I like 760 as a intermediate term swing, so we're going to sell short here. I'll put the stop loss right there at the high. I don't think that consequent encouragement is going to be a factor for this. I'll add some more in here. Okay, and I'll get that off of there. Now I'm watching that last up close candle, the big bold green one. My eyes looking right at the close of that candlestick, and that's a rejection block. If it can stab one more time up into that, I'll add just to prove the method and concept. So we're looking for that decline around 7:50 a.m. New York time. Is a volume imbalance. I'm going to add into that right there. And it might not get up into that rejection block. But if it does, I'll add it. Me annotate this volume imbalance for you. Now, volume imbalance is the weakest in terms of the flexibility on all my PD arrays. So I'm completely comfortable with letting price go through them and then coming back to them as a either target, means of managing a stop loss. So these things always, I gotta get it where I want it. It's never where I want it. I want it to thicken up here. Come on. There you go. All right. So it could bounce off this volume imbalance. And if it can sweep to that last up close candle, the biggest green one, before it turned and rolled over here, I'll take that as an additional short entry. The stop loss is safe, so just want to draw special attention to that. So I'm not fearful of adding. So that's the consequent correction of the wick, 3 candles back. And there is what looks like the rejection block right there. Yep, I got it right there. So I'd like to see it turn right there on a dime. If it's truly in fact a rejection block, it should in fact drop and fall away from here and start gravitating towards that low I was looking for. Okay, so far so good. Now this becomes a premium array where if it trades away from it on the downside, if it comes back up into it, it should act as resistance. Because now the narrative's in play, and there you go, look at that. It's almost like voodoo. All right, so I'm looking at the buy side and balance, sell side inefficiency that we're trading inside of, just to the left of where price is trading now. And don't lose sight of that low down here because that's where my focus is. I'm not so much concerned about it ripping and reversing higher, but I like the idea of taking some of the risk away here. And I want to see that buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency morph into a, maybe just be a little facetious here. No ICT video was complete without it. And that buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency, I want to see that act as a inversion fair value gap. So inversion fair value gaps are typically shown in my educational examples, the teachings. I usually annotate them as an orange hued rectangle. So while this here, see that candle's high, that candle's low, that candle's high, that candle's low. The folks that think these are liquidity voids that they can just trade back down into them and go back up because they don't know what's going on, they'll look at that as a reason to go long and they'll lose their shirt here. So what I'm showing you is that I'm viewing that as an inversion fair value gap. And Chris Laurie doesn't teach that, by the way. He might start doing it now because mine works a lot better. But the inversion fair value gap here, I want to annotate that and put gradients inside of them. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to break them up into the upper quadrant, consequent encroachment, which is midpoint, and then there is the lower quadrant, and then obviously the low of it. So let me show you that with the fib here. So that's normal, that's consequent encroachment, and here's the fib settings. You want to screenshot that. And now there's the quadrants inside of that. This is not quarters theory, and quarters theory is a joke, so stop asking me in the comment section. It's all a farce, okay? It's another gimmick. Watch and see what the difference is here. Okay, this is not quarters theory. You'll never see anyone teaching this outside of me and my lectures. And anything after I've taught it in mentorship, then you see all these little scribes and copycats. Let me copy this little volume imbalance in here. I think we're going to shoot up into that and hit the upper quadrant. At most, I don't want to see it close above the upper quadrant. Let me thicken these up. Oh, there's the upper quadrant. All right, so that should be enough. Now, from a narrative standpoint, the algorithm should start to spool lower. And there's a little short-term low right at 820 or so. That's also inside of another buy side and balance, sell side inefficiency. I don't expect that to act as a inversion fair value gap. I'd like to see it melt right through that. So what I'm watching here is, does it want to trade above the upper quadrant of that inversion fair value gap? Here's the low I was referring to. This is a minor sell side liquidity, so it's just another factor to look for and study. Is price gravitating to this level? If I was extremely insecure as a new developing student, I would look to take a partial under this low, but I've been around the block a few times, so I'm going to hold for the target down here because I have a longer term target I'm trying to reach for. Okay, so that's the next gravitational draw on price. And if the algorithm does exist and it does want to go lower, that should just go right down there and then accelerate through it, not just poke its toe in the water and then go back up into the inversion fair value gap. I don't want to see that. It's already done the work inside the inversion fair value gap. So I want to see some big down close candles, expansion lower. That'll confirm to me that we will absolutely have no problem reaching the 926 level. And a little bit lower, I'll put a limit order below that. Right now I'm focusing on what we're seeing here, and that's beautiful. That's exactly what we want to see. Now spread its wings a little bit more. I like that now. So I probably just got lucky. And now you ought to see the comment section. These guys love these little comments. And just for the sake of answering the folks that constantly leave little comments, let me move my stop here. Okay, that covers costs. And the reason why you don't see comments, even though it looks like the comment section is open, it is open. It's just for me to read. Anyone that says, why isn't there any comments, I ban those individuals, so I'll never see your comment again. And usually they're from people that aren't really subscribed to the channel, so I could care less if I ever see your comment again. All right, so we have a limit order that I want to move just a little bit lower. So we have 15 scheduled to come off under that low. So far, everything just looks absolutely gorgeous. Market's open, no market replay. We don't play that game around here. I had a person ask me, can you move that thing? What are you hiding? There's nothing over here. That's just the time thing. Okay, it's always New York. And you can see the countdown to close on the price action for the candlestick. So you can't do those things on market replay. All right, so we're focusing on that low right there. Now you see how we're going up into the most recent down close candle. I want to see it stay inside of that range. I don't want to see it go above the open of it. So I want to focus primarily on heaviness. I want to see the price have no strength overcoming the previous candle's body. In other words, I don't even want to see it return to its wick. To me, that would indicate that this is absolutely going to roll over and smash through that low. And it should have no problem reaching low enough to get that limit order. Small little fair value gap it's traded up into. You see that here. So now with that, I absolutely want to see it just fall out of bed and just careen into that low. Or for the folks that aren't English majors, I want to see it drop down fast, aggressive from where it is right now, targeting that low that I have as an initial draw on liquidity post 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. As an audio reminder, you're seeing it obviously on my videos. There's a few scammers on Instagram. One has a large following pretending to be me. I'm not on Instagram, and I'm not doing a paid mentorship. So stop believing these jokers. And if you're giving them money, you're an idiot. All right, now think about what I was walking you through as we were trading up at the highs. Okay, you see that? That is actually turtle soup. And I will be teaching that in an upcoming lecture. It ain't the guy on Twitter teaching you the secrets of turtle soup. And it's not Linda Rash's version either. Everybody out here scrambling to make a name for themselves on borrowed hand-me-down logic from good old ICT. So this is usually where we classically flirt with it. So I'm going to add my typical facetious little remark. All right, so just prepare yourself for another random act of precision. There you go. And now we just sit here and wait. It's inevitable, right? This guy gets lucky all the time. It should be this candle or the next for sure. Looks heavy. And look at this. Look at this guy go. All right, so now I'm going to show you what I'm really aiming for. Now, I might not get it, but now because I've done fairly well here, it doesn't matter if I'm right on this. I want to see it trade down to 760, and just to make sure I can get a nice exit and not have to worry about it and babysit it all day or tomorrow if it needs to be. I'll be just a little bit above that 760. Okay, semi-limit order is above that. Everything else stays the same. Hope you enjoyed it. Until I talk to you next time. Be safe. Oh, by the way, lectures are coming. Just be patient.